Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of my channel Versatile Knowledge. In this very special video, I will be explaining you about what are the different terms that is related to the camera in a smartphone. May it be the focal length, may it be the aperture size, may it be what is a megapixels, what is a flash, and many other things as such. So let's get started without any delay. In camera of a smartphone, the first thing that we'll be talking about is the megapixels. We can divide this term megapixel into two different parts. Mega and pixels. Mega is 10 to the power of 6. That means 10 lakh, that is 1 million. So for an image that is taken by a camera of 1 megapixel, the number of pixels that will be arranged in that image will be 10 lakh. The number of pixels that will be arranged in the image taken by a camera having 10 megapixel sensor will be 1 crore. So we got to know about what is a mega. Now we need to know what is a pixel. What is a pixel inside a camera? If you want to know what is a pixel in a screen of a smartphone, I will be giving the links in the card section. The pixel of a camera is nothing but the lowest component of the camera which is arranged in the last or in the end of the whole camera module. The pixel is nothing but dot. A pixel can hold some amount of information. The pixels will be arranged on an image sensor. Those pixels, each pixel that is arranged on an image sensor will have capacity to store some amount of information that is related to the image that you are taking. For example, if you are taking an image of a tree, each pixel will hold information of the tree such as may it be contrast, may it be what is the brightness that is available, what is the saturation levels that is available in the nature, and many other information of that particular scene will be held inside the pixel. So we got to know about what is a megapixel. Mega means 10 to the power of 6. Mega means a million. Pixel means a dot, which is the lowest component of a camera module. Each pixel has a capacity to hold some information. So this forms a megapixel of a camera. Now let's talk about what is a flash in a camera. A flash is nothing but the light that is present below the camera component on your smartphone's back panel. The three different types of flash are: one is a normal single LED flash, the second is dual LED flash, the third is dual tone LED flash. Single LED flash means there is only one color that is getting emitted. Dual LED flash means there are two different lights coming from two different light sources which are of the same color. Dual tone LED flash means there are two different light that is coming from two different light sources which are having two different tones. One is a warmer tone, one is a cooler tone. The cooler tone will be generally represented by yellow or green, warmer tone will be represented by orange. This will help you to take more brighter or more good quality images in lower lighting conditions. The next thing that we'll be talking in a camera of a smartphone is the sensor. The sensor is of two different types in the cameras of a smartphone. One is the complementary metal oxide semiconductor sensor, that is CMOS sensor. The second is the BSI sensor. The CMOS sensor is commonly found in many lower range or mid range or many mid to upper range, mid to higher end smartphones. But BSI sensor can be found in smartphones of higher end because BSI sensor is very difficult and expensive to implement in smartphones. The sensors which has BSI technology has a capacity to let in more light and will help you to take more better photos in lower lighting conditions. The fourth thing that we'll be talking about in the camera of a smartphone is the sensor size. You might have read the specification of the camera in a smartphone. In that, the sensor size will be written as 1 by 2.3 or it will be written as 1 by 2.8. In general, the sensor size is represented as 1 by x. Lower the x value, more greater the quality of the image that can be captured by your smartphone's camera. This is about sensor size. The fifth thing that we'll be talking about is the aperture of the camera. You might have seen nowadays while we are talking about the camera aperture of a smartphone during the specifications reveal, this camera is having f1.6 aperture, this camera is having f by 1.5 aperture, this camera is having f by 2.2 aperture. What exactly is that? Aperture has two important components. F is the numerator and by x is a number that is the denominator. The f is a smaller f which is known as the focal length of the lens of your camera. And x, the denominator, is nothing but a number that represents the diameter of the lens of your camera. Lesser the value of the diameter, more higher the camera can let in the light inside the sensor so that it can take more amazing photographs from your camera of your smartphone. A f1.5 camera can let in more light so that the image quality will be really high. The camera is having an aperture of f2.2. Even though if it is having 16 or 20 megapixels, it cannot let in the more amount of light inside the camera because the diameter of the lens is very small. Image quality will not be that good as that of the camera having an aperture of f1.5. In aperture, there are two types: static aperture and variable or dynamic aperture. Static aperture is common in smartphones, whereas variable aperture or dynamic aperture is common in camera devices such as DSLR. But now in 2018, it is rumored that the next upcoming flagship smartphones will be having variable apertures. That means you can take images in apertures of ranges of f1.5 to f2.2 as well. The next important term when it comes to the camera of a smartphone is the focus system. There are three important types of focus systems that is present in the camera of a smartphone. The first is normal autofocus. The second is phase detection autofocus. The third is the laser autofocus. In the first normal autofocus, what happens is whenever you move your camera towards an image, it automatically focuses to that particular subject. Or if you touch on that particular subject that you want, it will automatically focus itself and help you to produce the better image of that subject. Generally, normal autofocus is implemented in smartphones of lower end or around under 5,000 or under 7,000 rupees of phones. The second type of autofocus is the phase detection autofocus. Phase detection autofocus is when you move the camera lens, it will detect in which particular area that you are moving your smartphone camera. It will detect itself and it will quickly focus to that particular subject. You need not tap on that subject to focus that subject. It will automatically focus itself. It will check the scene or the area at which you are focusing and it will completely focus that particular subject. This is phase detection autofocus. The third important type that is implemented generally in the costlier smartphones, that is known as the laser autofocus. In laser autofocus, just next to the camera component or just next to the flash of the camera, a laser beam will be implemented. That laser output, what it does is, it will project multiple number of laser beams on that multiple number of invisible laser beams on the subject, and it will help you to quickly and more accurately focus that subject. This is known as laser autofocus. Last term that we'll be discussing in the camera of a smartphone is OIS and EIS. OIS stands for optical image stabilization and EIS stands for electronic image stabilization. OIS is a hardware based implementation. EIS is a software or programmatical level implementation. OIS is seen in expensive smartphones. EIS is seen in smartphones which are generally cheaper or which are in the range of under 25,000. Let me tell you how OIS and EIS is implemented. OIS generally consists of, OIS is nothing but optical image stabilization, as I told earlier. It will consist of a camera bump on the back of your smartphone. Why is that? Because in OIS there needs to be something called floating camera module. In general cameras, floating camera module will not be present. In OIS, the floating camera module will be present. If you are taking an image of a particular scene or if you are taking a video of a particular scene, if you move the hands, if you shake your hands like this, the camera module will move in the opposite direction of the shake that you are doing. For example, if you are taking a photograph of a mountain, you are taking a photograph of a tip of the mountain, someone pushes you from backwards, your smartphone will be tilted downwards. Once your smartphone is tilted downwards, the tip of the mountain will not be focused and it will have a shaky effect. But in OIS, what it does is, the camera module moves opposite to the shake and it will perfectly focus the tip of the mountain. So that even though you have shaked your hand, your video or the image that you have taken comes out perfectly. So in OIS, the camera module will have a floating component, so that once you shake your hand, it will shake oppositely, it will turn in the opposite direction and compensate the shake and help you to give out better quality image or better quality videos. OIS, as I told earlier, is a hardware based implementation and is very expensive. OIS cannot be implemented on smartphones just via a software update. Now let us come to what is an electronic image stabilization. Electronic image stabilization, as I told you guys, is a software based implementation. It can be enabled on smartphones by just pushing a software update. In electronic image stabilization, just the build.prop file of the camera app should be added with some important codes and electronic image stabilization on your camera will be implemented. It does not need any hardware support. It can be implemented on any smartphone. What happens in electronic image stabilization is, once you have taken an image of a scene and the scene has come out to be blurry, what EIS does is it will crop out some parts of the scene and make it more smooth. It will make it more refined so that the blurred part will be removed. It does it at the programmatical level. Generally, in devices having electronic image stabilization, the image or the video that you are taking will be cropped up to 10%. It will look like you have zoomed the picture and taken. You have taken a picture of an image, but due to some certain shake that has been blurred out, it will crop the photo up to 10%, then add some refining elements, then add some smoothing agents, and see the difference between the previous image and this image and renders the image. All of this happens in a fraction of a second. Let me give you an example of an EIS that was implemented via a software update. Last year, OnePlus released the OnePlus 5. OnePlus 5 did not have any forms of stabilization, neither EIS nor OIS. But after a month, they released a software update. EIS was enabled on the camera of the smartphone in OnePlus 5, and the quality of the camera turned out to be really good then onwards. Nowadays, for image stabilization in the higher end smartphones like the Pixel or in the iPhone 10, new type of image stabilization known as hybrid image stabilization. What is hybrid image stabilization? Hybrid image stabilization is the mixture of both optical image stabilization and electronic image stabilization. In hybrid image stabilization, what it does is the camera will sense the lighting conditions of the image that you are taking. It will check whether it is less light or more lighting conditions, and it will decide itself whether it has to implement OIS or EIS. This technology is known as hybrid image stabilization. If you have any inquiries or if you have any doubts regarding whatever that I have told in this video, please hit them in the comment section below. I hope you guys might have known many things about the camera of a smartphone in this video. If you have liked this video, please hit the like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to my channel for more interesting videos as this one. I will catch up with you guys in my next one. Thank you.